This is the start of day 110. This is my stealth campsite. I can't show it to you with a hammock up, but I just kind of ducked up here in the woods and found a couple of trees where I had some water. I'm getting started late. It's going to be 9:15 till I get on trail. I just gave myself a little sleep-in time this morning. It's already 77 degrees at 9 o'clock. So it's going to be a hot one again today. First part of the day, I know I have maybe a little climb and then a downhill to water. Got to decide where my ending point is. Upper Goose Pond Shelter would be within reach. I know there's going to be a crap ton of people there tonight because everybody in the shelter at lunch yesterday was talking about that. I don't know, maybe I'll pull up short or stealth camp at water. I haven't quite decided. Kind of depends. I was really plastered and tired last night and footsore. So we'll just see how today goes. I'm going to take it easy. If it has to be a 6-mile day or 7 or 8 mile day, that's what it's going to be. Give myself a little break. I've had three days, pretty hard days in a row. And it may not be getting me to Katahdin on time, but you got to be sane at what you're doing. I am going to do one frivolous thing this morning. That water source, I made a little pool there to scoop water out of. I don't need it because I have plenty of water to get me to the next water source. But I just want to go check on it. So I'm going to bomb down here back to the trail and over there, and I'll show you my creation, and then we'll head on down the trail. I know that one of these days, I was hoping last night that it wasn't last night, that we're gonna start having a chance of rain. It's gonna cool down. I think maybe it's tomorrow. And actually, cool would be nice. Rain on these rocks wouldn't be so nice, but you know, you got to take the good with the bad, and yeah, everything is desperately dry, so the water is definitely needed. I don't know if you can see very much there, but that little pool where you see the trickle going into is what I concocted last night. Don't know if it's totally cleared up yet. That's this little trickle flow is what I got my water from last night and treated it. So it took a long time. It took a long time to get water last night. Here's a pond that was just a little bit beyond my campsite, between the two peaks on Mount Wilcox. There's a really good stream flowing out of that, although I prefer not to drink pond water. So there was 2 or 3 more streams that actually just a little ways beyond where I was that were nicer than what I used, but you never know. And I was so tired last night that it would have been absolutely demoralizing to hike on a ways and then not find water. So did what I needed to do last night. I'm sweating bullets already. Even though it's 77 degrees, it's very humid. So got to climb up out of here to the Wilcox North Shelter entrance ramp and then down the other side. So I'm here at the Shaker campsite, which is about 15:30. 15:30. Today is August 13. And the day had a pretty auspicious beginning. I was really, really tired, and even the slightest uphill, just my legs didn't seem to have any go. Hiked on anyway. I've hiked 5 miles here. I'm taking a break for lunch. Gonna get some food in me. I have this water flavoring stuff that has energy. It has caffeine and B6 and B12 in it, and I drank some of that, and it seems to be helping. I don't know if I'm going to push on too hard today. It's calling for rain starting this evening. I would like to take an hour break here and then hike on probably 2.5 more miles, but entails a 500-foot climb. I got it basically have to climb up over a mountain back down the other side, and I would stealth camp again. It wouldn't be an official campsite, but from the photo in the app, it looks like there are trees there, and I'm sure I could find a place to camp and be near water. So that's my tentative plan. I'm going to just see how I feel after I take a load off here for a little bit and get some more calories in. The last 3 days in Massachusetts have been hard work. Well, the first one was really hard with Mount Race. That was partly Connecticut, but it was Bear Mountain, and I had a Lion's Head, then Bear Mountain, and then Mount Race down the other side. It was like 12 miles, and that was a hard day. Then the next day, I climbed Mount Everett, which was wasn't a whole lot of it was like 500 or 600 feet elevation, but it was like straight up, just straight up the side of the mountain. It wasn't as hard as Mount Race, I didn't think. And then just the downhill from that was pretty gnarly. Came down, 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 down. Well, I came across the top of the mountain, then down, 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 down. And then at the very end of the day, had some kind of gentle rolling trail, but was having trouble with water, so I yogied a ride into Great Barrington, Mass, and stayed at the community center. And then yesterday I hitched out from there, and there was a number of miles that were nice and flat and easy, but then there was a 1,000-foot climb, and then a couple like a 500-foot climb, and just climb after climb. And so and then at the end of the day, where I would have stopped, there wasn't water. So, and I broke a trekking pole and just a number of things. So I got to camp fairly late, 6:37. It took me half an hour to get water at the little trickle stream. And so I don't know if it's just emotionally spent or physically spent or both, or maybe I just needed to get everything going forward and it'll be better. I've been hiking really slow today, so if I do another 2.5 miles, it'll be a 2-hour march, because I'm not getting 2 miles an hour that I was doing before I got off trail. I'm getting about 1.5 miles or 1.75 miles, and there's nothing in Massachusetts that's really easy and flat. I mean, there are sections, but it's interspersed with lots of rocks. So anyway, that's an update on that. If I can get to that campsite, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. The good news is it'll be cooler. It was hiking in the shade today. It's 85 degrees and just sweating profusely. And my clothes are soaked through from sweat, not from anything else. So anyway, sorry for the weird angle here, but I'm laying on a tent platform and I'm just enjoying being horizontal. So, a wrap up of day 110. Not a terribly exciting story for today. I got to this campsite. I took a long rest, and about that time, heavy clouds were rolling in, and so I pitched camp. It took about an hour, but about from 1 to 2, I took my rest, and at 3:34, it started to rain for a couple of hours. Too late to get back on the trail. Didn't rain humongous amounts, but it rained enough that it would have been miserable. And there was thunder, and I didn't want to be, my hike from here is up over the top of a mountain. I didn't want to be on the top of the mountain in a thunderstorm, if that were possible. So it leaves kind of a bigger day for tomorrow. Would really like to get to Upper Goose Pond Shelter, which is 9.5 miles. At least so the sign says here. My guide says 10.5 and 2,100 feet of elevation gain, which is a lot. So the good news is my pack gets lighter each day as I eat food out of it. Hopefully I can do it, and having a rest day today. I realized one thing this morning maybe was part of the reason I was so sluggish. I know I put out a lot yesterday, but I take a thyroid medication and I've forgotten to take my pills this morning. the other thing I've been doing is this energy drink that has some caffeine and vitamins in it, and hadn't done any of that this morning either. So, you know, I don't know. Live and learn. Sometimes your body's just fatigued from going on and on. So hopefully this is a good rest. I spent some time listening to some teaching. I may or may not have taken a nap. I'm not sure. Which I hope I didn't take much of a nap, because I want to sleep tonight. But we'll get back after it tomorrow. I had a conversation with my friend Creek. The interesting thing is that he's been having kind of the same problems I was having in Connecticut. It's just rough and gnarly, and so he's back about 3 days behind me, but he slack packed today. It's going to slack pack tomorrow 17.5 miles, which will catch him up to, let me see, not yesterday, the day before. So he'd be 2 days behind me, but I'm not hiking as far as he is, and so anyway, hope to catch up with him. We're at the tail end of what's called the bubble. That's the kind of the massive hikers that come through. We're kind of at the tail end of it, because we both took time off trail, and but he's such good company. It'd be really good to be with him, and he's an encouragement, and so it's really good to talk to him. Talked with Linda some today. I'll try to give her a call again tonight and talk to her. I've got a little spotty cell phone coverage here, but maybe enough. So that's kind of the wrap up of the day. 5 miles, and we'll have some rest. But you do what you got to do to stay on trail. This morning I didn't know if I could make 5 miles. I was just feeling really rough. By the time I got here, I was feeling some better, but I really wanted to take a long break and get some food in me, and then it looked like rain was imminent. If I would have thought I would have had 2 or 3 clear hours, I would have pressed on to another stealth site by water up the way, 2.5 miles. Would have cut 500 feet off the elevation I have to do tomorrow. So basically I go up over this ridge and down the other side, and then I have a really long climb, like 1,200 feet, and then some 4 or 5 smaller climbs kind of at the end of the day, getting to Goose Pine Shelter. So I'd like to get out of here fairly early in the morning and put some of those put that time in during the day. And I think tomorrow they're calling for afternoon thunder showers as well. So I'd really like to get to where I'm going before I get soaking wet. So I know a lot of people hike in the rain, and I have to, but I don't enjoy it that much, especially when the terrain is rocky like some of this stuff. It just makes it doubly hard to get up and over it when it's a little dicey. So I don't know what tomorrow brings, but by the topo lines on that one long climb that I have, looks like it starts out more gradual, and at the end it gets really steep. So my guessing, usually when it's steep in Massachusetts, it's rock. So anyway, end of day 110. There'll be a few photos in the end here, not maybe as much as usual, but thanks for hanging with me.